Hello and welcome to my shed. I'm James Sylvester from JPS Reliability Ltd. We're a specialist condition monitoring and reliability support company based in the United Kingdom. I'm also a trainer for the Reliability Training Institute RMS, and what I'm going to go over today is a case study in our newly published book, The Book of Gold. This is not our first book. Our first book was called Enhancing System Reliability through Vibration Technology. That book itself was where we took the theory of vibration analysis and how to analyse and do data, put into layman's terms, and we had some case studies. That was quite successful. It's gone all over the globe, but the biggest feedback we had from it was how people really loved the case studies and appreciated seeing real life data and real life stripped down reports. So that was the driver behind this book. So this book, as I said, is JPS Reliability Ltd, a book of gold, practical condition monitoring case studies. It's got, I think, 118 case studies-ish, mainly vibration analysis with some grease inspections, oil analysis and some thermal imaging. So it's the same sort of format as our first book, but underneath the dust cover, because it's hardback, is the Book of Gold itself. So we're very proud of this book that we think is really going to help people understand vibration analysis more and really help them progress. And what is really good is that Reliability Training Institute RMS are just as passionate about as we are. So if you sit their VCAT 2 course, the public course, you'll actually get the Book of Gold as part of your material for free. So you get pre-study material, and also you get to keep it and as it is a great reference book. We do feel it's going to be suitable for everyone from starting out to experience to actually to reliability engineers when they need to investigate some failure, because it's all got obviously the VA data and the stripped down reports. With training, we do feel that you need a combination of certificated and practical theory training. I myself is from the practical background, where I work myself up into training. So you need to understand the basics of why you're doing what you're doing and how it can go wrong. And going on a course with RMS, where it has a body of knowledge set up in sections of like signal processing, data analysis, really helps you understand how things work. And when you understand how things work, it makes understanding it practically when you're doing it so much easier. So we really think that practical and some structured independent courses, it will really help you progress. So as I said, this book is actually the only one currently in existence. We have 20 copies which are currently in printing now. Those are the ones we're going to send out over the globe to specific people as part of our promotion. And then we'll have a batch for RMS, which they'll be using on their courses and distributing to the UK. But if you want to touch and see this one, this book is actually going to Andrew Cook from CTC. He's going to be at the Main Tech Show at the NAC in Birmingham, stand D28 from the 8th and 9th of June. So if you want to go and have a chat with Andrew, he may let you have a look at his copy of the book, which is the first ever printed book. Also, Andrew's going to have 2 copies of Enhancing System Reliability through Vibration Technology. One will be there for you to flick through and have a look at, but also have a signed Main Tech specific copy. So I think if you register at a stand, you get put into a draw and you can win that. But what we're going to do now is go through the case study. So within the book, we've got a section on gearboxes, and on section 6.4 here, we have failure due to an aged bearing in the worm and wheel gearbox. Most of these are set out where we have an introduction or background and a summary, then the data and the analysis. So on this particular ROM, it was 3 months after it was overhauled after a Christmas shut that we detected a sharp increase in vibration, monitored a bit closer, and we pulled and inspected it. I'll go over the summary after, but initially, this is what we saw. So here we have the acceleration trend, so you can see the historical normal trend. Then 3 months after it is overhauled and installed, shot up and then right up. And at the bottom there, we also have the peak view trend. So again, fluctuating a little bit. First stage after maintenance, and it shot up. And this here is a velocity spectrum, and in the velocity spectrum we have a lovely BPFI. As we know, when you see the bearing defects in velocity, you're going to have a major defect. So we saw in velocity and we said, look, enough's enough, let's control and pull it out, which we did. This is a strip down report. So I say all these chapters we have analysis and failure reports. So this is the bearing here where we've got some false Spinelling, which we detected BPFI, error race, and also we have some more images there as well. So that's how the book's laid out. So we have the vibration data and what happened. But on most of those case studies, we actually have the bearings as well. So this is that bearing from that case study. So this will be on the worm shaft going across either end, so like thrust bearings. And here you can see there, see that? Perfectly spaced at the roller pitch. Huge, huge false Spinelling and fatigue. There we go. Now, when we inspected this, we stripped the bearing down and the bearing was stamped up Skefco. And I thought, Skefco, so I did a bit of research, went for the usual lines to check on fake bearings, and it turns out Skefco was a name of Skef in the 70s before it changed its name to Skef. So why would someone fake a bearing from the 70s? And this was a few years ago we had this defect. Why would they do that? So we tracked down a bill of materials, and it turns out this was done on a shut on the holidays. So they needed to get a bearing quick. It is an old Imperial bearing. They couldn't find an Imperial bearing stock, so they went to like a after sellers or like a bearing warehouse type place where they luckily had one on the shelf. So this bearing then was traced back to picked up redundant stock from our old steelworks. So obviously someone bought all the bearings, kept them thinking that's what one would need in the future. But that then had been sat on the shelf for 30 years, just sat there, which is amazing. You know, it's older than me and I'm old. And yeah, and then you can see there how perfect the false Spinelling. So we had that sat there for all those years, and that point contact making a stress razor. So as soon as the asset started up under load, bang, not long after we were getting clear BPFI, and that was the failure. So as I said, we've got lots of bearings, and I'll try and do another one in a couple of weeks where I'll show you another chapter in the book, how it's laid out. We'll look at the VA data, and then we'll go for the bearings. So hope you found it of interest. If you're going to Main Tech, pop in and see Andrew Cook, say hi, you can have a look at the book, and hopefully soon RMS will be distributing in the UK, and we will have some distributors set up all around the globe. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.